Hey, okay, so hi and welcome. I'm Cassie here at Afternoon Literature, and you've come back to join me for my July TBR Tokens. I'm going to start off this video with a tiny bit of information on how I did in June. I've just filmed my June wrap up and I thought I had done atrociously, but actually I've read quite a few books. Only issue is, not all of them are from my TBR Tokens. So, last month I said to you that I was going to do 7 prompts per month, and any of the 7 that I didn't get to read would end up being a forfeit prompt for the following month. I have managed to read 5 books last month out of the 7 that I was supposed to read. I did read a couple more books in general, but they weren't on my TBR tokens, and so they don't count towards my total. And that means this month I need to roll my original 7 prompts for my books, but I will also roll 2 forfeit prompts, which generally mean that I have slightly less control over my TBR. Hopefully the forfeits will be kind to me, but we will see. Okay, so let's get into picking my July TBR. Okay, so for July I have to pick 2 forfeits. So I've got my little forfeit board here. This is one side and this is the other. So I'm just going to roll this. If an odd number comes up, then I will pick this side. If an even number comes up, it will be from this side. So okay, so it was an even number, so we're just going to turn it over. So I have to roll 2 of them. Let's see what I get. Okay, so the first roll was a number 2, and that means I have to read a book that is booktuber hated. So a book that is hated by one of my favourite booktubers. That's absolutely fine. I'm sure I will be able to find one, and that it shouldn't be too difficult in the long run. Okay, the next roll is 1. Okay, so that is a TBR that is picked entirely by a friend. So because of that, and because obviously I have way too many books on my TBR, what I will be doing is I will pick 2 or 3 books that fit each prompt, and then I will ask my friends, a series of different friends, to pick one of those options. I know it still gives me a bit of choice, but the reality is that I can't send them the 700 books that are on my TBR, so I have to narrow it down somehow. Hi, this is Editing Cassie here, and I am popping in to try to explain to you what you're about to see next. So, usually for my TBR game, what you would see would be me rolling the dice, moving my little counter along, and you would see me picking the prompts for the next month. And then what I would do is in between it, I would tell you what books I'm planning to read for it, or possible books I'm planning to read for the prompts and so on, and you would end up with my TBR. This is incredibly fun, and this is what most of you watch it for. That is what my TBR game is. This month, what you are going to see is basically me telling you what prompts I got, and me telling you the books that I'm going to choose for those prompts, but you're not going to see any of the rolls, and that is because I forgot to turn on the camera. Yes, I pretty much filmed 10 minutes of me rolling the dice, picking out the prompts, coming up with the reasons why, and then came downstairs and discovered that I had 3 seconds of footage. And what I could do is completely re-roll. But this month I got 2 forfeits, one of which means my friend picks all my TBR. So instead of picking 7 books out as possibles, I actually picked out 21 possible books to read, all of which I'm now really excited about. And I don't want to re-pick them or completely refilm it or anything like that. And then the other option was for me to recreate it, but because it's dice roll and it is completely random, and I can't remember what numbers showed up, yeah, there's no real way for me to recreate it. So this TBR month is a burning trash fire of shit, and that is absolutely fine. That's what we're going with. Here's the 21 books I could possibly be reading this month for the 7 prompts that you didn't see me pick out, but believe me, they are true, they are there. and we'll get back to your normal scheduled TBR game in August. Now, as for the hardback prompt, I've chosen 3 hardback books that my friend can pick from. So, one of them is The Mercies by Kiran, Milwood, Hargrave, and this one is an adult novel based on a storm. One of them is The Deathless Girls by Kiran, Milwood, Hargrave, and this one has to do with Dracula and the women within Dracula, so Dracula's wives, or a non-fiction book, which is Conan Doyle for the Defence, which is all about a real case that Arthur Conan Doyle was involved in, and the quest for justice. So I'm interested in that one. All hardback books, very, very beautiful books and beautiful covers, and hopefully not too hard to get through. So I have read most of the books from my 5-star predictions video already, so that leaves me with Queen of Ruin by Tracy Banghart, or A Man Called Ove by Frederick Backman. I'm also going to put in there A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson, because I think I'm really going to enjoy this and I'm actually really in the mood to read it. I will be happy no matter which one of these books is picked. They are either relatively short as well, or what I'm hoping is going to be a fast-paced read. So my friend will get to choose one of those for the 5-star prediction. Right, the fantasy prompt has come up. So there's 3 fantasy books that I've got that I would like to read that my friend can pick between. This is a returning one that you will see over and over until I have actually read it, and that is The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. This is a much anticipated read, but one that I've been putting off until the summer. That is Angel Mage by Garth, which I believe is a standalone. And a book that I'm hoping my friend will pick, and the reason I'm hoping is because I'm going to be reading it this month anyway, so I'd really like it to count. And that is The Empire of Gold by S.A. Chakraborty. I will actually be rereading the first 2 novels, which is City of Brass and Kingdom of Copper. So please let them pick this one, because I need one of these books to count. Otherwise, I will either be reading everything in July or nothing at all. And for the next in a series prompt, I've tried to be kind to myself. Now, if I'm reading a series, it's usually fantasy, so I've tried to pick shorter ones. Either Time of Contempt by Andrzej Sapkowski, which is the next in the Witcher series, and that's where I'm up to. These don't take me very long to read, so that would be a nice pick. Or The Rose and the Dagger by René Ardier, because that is a duology with The Wrath and the Dawn. This is the 2nd book in that duology, and I need to finish it, so that would be a good one to finish out, and that's a young adult one. Or the 3rd book in the 7 Realms series by Cinder Williams Charmer, which is, I'm finding book 3 here. Book 1, book 3. There we are. The Grey Horse Throne. So, yeah, that one's much more chunky, much longer, but it's not long ago that I read the first 2, and that might be a nice one to carry on because there's 4 books in that series, and then I know there's a new set of 7 Realms books to go along with them, so it'll be good to carry that on. So they're the 3 books that could be picked. Right, now for a returning author. So it's natural to kind of want to pick the next in a series for this, but what I've actually done is tried to pick the first book or a standalone by an author that I've read before. So this is the first book in a new series I haven't read, by Jasper Fforde, and that is The Big Over Easy. So this is the Nursery Crime series. Now, I've read the Thursday Next series. Jasper Fforde's got a couple of newer books out, but I fancy something whimsical, so that'll be nice to start. Or Sini's Daughter by Melinda Salisbury. I really like Melinda Salisbury. I've read her Song of Sorrow, State of Sorrow series, and I've also read Hold Back the Tide. So I've had this book for much longer than those, and that's the beginning of that series, so something new to try. Or a standalone by M.R. Carey, who wrote The Girl with All the Gifts, and that is Someone Like Me. So that one's a bit more atmospheric, thrillery, horror-ish style book, and I haven't read one of those for a while. So they're the 3 for that choice. So for my historical prompt, I have chosen either Conan Verity which is another set in World War II, written by Elizabeth Lean. I don't know much about it other than I've heard some very good things, and I do tend to like World War fiction, so that would be interesting to read. Or The Confessions of Franny Langton by Sarah Collins. So this one is about Franny Langton, who was a slave in a plantation in Jamaica and is now like a servant to a house in London, and she is accused of, I think it's of murdering her mistress, potentially, but actually they were potentially lovers. So this is the Claire McIntosh book group pick, and I'm going to have to read this one this month anyway, so hopefully my friend will pick this to help with my reading count, but either way I'll be getting to this. Or a non-fiction piece, which is The Five by, I think it's Hallie Rubenhold. Yeah, The Five by Hallie Rubenhold, which focuses on the Jack the Ripper murders, but specifically now focusing on the victims, on the women. And that's non-fiction that I'd definitely be looking forward to. That looks a historic part of London. So yeah, those three are the choices for historical setting. So for my intimidating read picks, I have picked 3 books from that list that are ones I'm really eager to get to. White Teeth by Zadie Smith is one that I was hoping to read this month anyway. So this is a multi-generational story and I'm really in the mood for it, so I'm hoping that my friend will pick this. If not, then the other choice is Soul Mountain by Gao Zhang, which is translated by Mabel Lee, and I'm really looking forward to this one as well. It's a Nobel Prize winner and I should have read it. Really, I think it's going to be very thoughtful and reflective. The third option, which is terrifying, is A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. I really do want to read this. Really do. I just didn't want to read it in July, but I will let my friend pick from these intimidating reads. Yeah, back again. So, realised that one of my forfeits says I have to read a book that was BookTuber hated. So I have just spent the last hour watching the worst books of 2019, worst books of 2018 videos and things from some of my favourite booktubers, and not one of the books I mentioned to my own, except one book. I don't want to watch any more videos. So I'm going to also add to this list, and this will be the only one that my friend can't pick, and that is just purely because I'm not buying a book just to read it because someone hated it. Kind of defeat the purpose of this game. So I have found one book, and that was Disliked in the Worst Reads of 2019 by J.D. Ray Reads. So that is The Merciful Crow. So I will also be reading that in July. So yay! So these are half the possibilities for July that I would give my friend. Yeah, I'm not even going to try and pick up every single one of them and take like screenshots or anything, because these are a lot of choices. That forfeit really has really done a number on me. So yes, there we go. These are messy. These are the choices that I will give my friends. So for each one of the prompts that came up this month, I will give my friends 3 choices and then ask them to pick. And that's how we will be picking my TBR. I know for definite I will be rereading the whole of the Dievabad trilogy. So yeah, I will be rereading the whole of this anyway, so hopefully they'll pick that to make it easier, but if not, they will be on the reading list for July. And I will also definitely be reading The Confessions of Franny Langton, because I wanted to read this too this month, and it's for a book club. So, but other than that, it could be any of those reads. The 7 prompts this month scare me so much, but at least I'm off work, and so I'm hopeful I can get through them. Okay, so thank you for joining me for July's TBR tokens. Let's see how I do at the end of the month. If you like this video, please like. If you want to comment on any of the books or just my general misfortune, please comment below. And if you would like to see more like this and, you know, follow to see how I did and what books were picked, then please subscribe to my channel. I will see you again for another TBR game next month. and I will be back for a book report video on Friday. Bye!